the little girl looked up at her stepmother, who was 8 months pregnant, and softly said, "The baby in your belly has the umbilical cord wrapped around its neck. It's running out of air." Her stepmother's face darkened. She thought the girl was talking nonsense, deliberately cursing her child, but the next second, a sharp pain shot through her belly. The mother-in-law panicked, thinking she was going into labor. She quickly rushed her to the hospital. After the doctors worked to save the baby, they came out with grave expressions. They confirmed that the child had indeed been suffocated by the umbilical cord. The entire family was stunned. They refused to believe this was just a coincidence. Instead, they blamed the little girl, convinced that her words had cursed the baby. Enraged, they surrounded her, lashing out in anger. But no matter how she tried to explain, they only saw it as excuses. Her father, furious beyond reason, grabbed a glass bottle, intending to smash it over her head. But something strange happened. In an instant, the bottle rebounded violently, smashing straight into his own head. He gasped in pain. Seeing this, her stepmother's expression turned grim. She spoke coldly, "If we can't touch her, then throw this jinx into the mountains, and let her fend for herself." Her father's eyes flashed with cruelty, determined to get rid of this curse. He decided to handle it himself. What he didn't know was that the girl was no unlucky star. She was a reincarnation of fortune itself. But there was one condition: only those who treated her well could receive the blessings she brought. More importantly, she was the biological daughter of the wealthiest family in the country. Years ago, her mother had abandoned her prestigious identity to marry this heartless man, but she died during childbirth. The moment her mother passed, her father wasted no time in getting together with a manipulative woman. Left without a mother, the little girl grew up in fear, walking on eggshells every day. But she wasn't truly alone. She had 3 uncles who had been searching for her all these years. Her eldest uncle was a business tycoon, her second uncle was a legendary doctor, and her youngest uncle was a top celebrity. When they finally discovered her whereabouts, they dropped everything and rushed straight to her father's house. But just as they arrived at the front door, they unknowingly passed by her father, who had their niece slung over his shoulder. That night, the man trekked through rugged mountain paths, finally reaching the peak. He was ready to push the girl off the cliff, but just as he was about to succeed, a mysterious force suddenly turned against him. His foot slipped, and he plunged straight off the edge. Meanwhile, the girl remained completely unharmed. At the bottom of the mountain, a man with a limp happened to pass by. He was poor, jobless due to his leg injury, and had no family left. To him, life had already lost all meaning. He had been planning to end it all, until he suddenly heard a child's faint cry for help. Following the voice, he was shocked to find a little girl, alone in the wilderness. Something in his heart stirred. His world, once dark and lifeless, seemed to regain a glimmer of hope. He firmly believed that this child was a gift from the heavens. Without hesitation, he took her in. Little did he know, this single act of kindness was about to change his destiny forever. Meanwhile, back at the house, the girl's father and stepmother assumed she was dead, believing their troubles were over. Her stepmother adopted another girl. Why? Because she had heard rumors that if this girl touched a woman's belly, she could guarantee a baby boy. Blinded by greed, she treated the girl like a treasure. But at that very moment, the little girl's 3 uncles arrived at the doorstep to cover up the truth about their missing